Good morning. This is KELOLAND on the go with all you need to know in news and weather as you start your day.
A former Huron pastor is accused of making child pornography using church equipment. Police arrested 32-year-old Kevin Kester on Monday.
Court documents say investigators searched his computer at Mount Calvary Lutheran Church and discovered 2 illegal pictures of a toddler. The images allegedly came from a church security camera.
Kester is no longer listed as a pastor on the church website.
New this morning, shots were fired by an officer with the Sioux Falls Area Fugitive Task Force Thursday night while trying to serve a warrant.
According to the Minnehaha County Sheriff's Office, the officers were trying to track down a suspect in the area of Bonson and Rice Street. When police made contact, the suspect fled and ran into a residence. The
suspect then produced a weapon, which caused one of the officers to fire at the suspect. About an hour later, the suspect surrendered to authorities and was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
Stay with KELOLAND News on air and online for further updates into the investigation.
It was 1 year ago this month that gunshots rang out in a Sioux Falls neighborhood, leaving 3 people dead and 2 others injured.
Soon after, police arrested Justin Rackley. He's been in the Minnehaha County Jail charged with first-degree murder.
KELOLAND News has learned that his lawyers have asked for several motions concerning evidence in the case. For instance, they want to ban police photographs of the victims for being entered into evidence. They are also asking the judge to prevent the victims' friends and families from any displays of emotion in the courtroom.
In late 2024, Rackley sent a handwritten letter to the judge saying he's been very clear on his intention to have a speedy trial and has in no way waived his rights verbally or by signature.
Well, now let's get a check on today's weather with meteorologist Scott Munt. Good morning, Scott.
All right, good morning there, Summer. Good morning, everybody. We are looking at showers, thunderstorms in our forecast later this afternoon and this evening, maybe starting in parts of central and south central South Dakota. I know we have a couple of showers and thunder showers already this morning. Thinking is those will weaken as they move to the east. Look at the temperatures. Numbers in the 80s in eastern KELOLAND today, low to middle 90s for central and western South Dakota. And Brian will have more details on your forecast coming up.
As authorities continue to investigate the death of an SDSU student athlete, people are coming together to support Nate White's family.
The 20-year-old football player was discovered unresponsive in his bed early Wednesday morning. White had transferred to SDSU from the University of Wisconsin.
On Monday, the Hartford Dairy Queen will donate 30% of all Blizzard sales to White's family. The DQ owner said the tragedy hits close to home as both his sons are athletes and have the same jersey number as White.
To find out how you can help, go to this story here on KELOLAND.com.
The Mount Rushmore National BMX competition kicks off in Rapid City today.
This is one of 28 national stops on the tour. Hundreds of riders will compete over the next 3 days and look to move up the national standings.
I get to race a track that I know by the back of my hand, and I know every line here. I know how to race it, and that's what I'm excited about. And my friends from around the state around the country get to come race my track.
Over the weekend, hundreds of riders will be competing in several categories, from the Little Striders riders all the way up to a Pro-Am race.
It's a day dedicated to kids at Good Earth State Park near Sioux Falls. Every Thursday in June and July, Good Earth hosts its Little Acorns and Mighty Muskrats Summer Camps events.
Little Acorns is designed for kids ages 3 to 5, while Mighty Muskrats is for those 6 to 13. And it's all about nature.
I want them to be excited about being outside. I want them to kind of leave that stuff inside a little bit, get outside, whether it's hot or cold or raining, just go out and enjoy nature as much as possible and be enthusiastic and be excited to learn and be curious about what's around you.
Little Acorns is every Thursday morning from 10 to 10:30, while Mighty Muskrat Summer Camp is from 2 to 3 p.m. and run through July 31st.
The programs are free to attend, but registration is required. We provided a link with this story on KELOLAND.com.
That's a look at some of our top stories.
Now let's get another Check Your Weather with meteorologist Brian Karstens. Brian?
All right, watching the weather here today. It looks like temperatures are warming up back to the mid-80s in Sioux Falls. We have some patchy fog this morning. More of that into central South Dakota. But overall here, looks like pretty nice summer day, really. There is a patch or two of some showers and thunder showers in central South Dakota. We think, though, that the atmosphere will kind of bake out here. We're going to surge into the 90s in this area around Pierre to Rapid City, and that's where we'll have those ignition points for new storms to flare up later today. Large hail, damaging winds, and even an isolated tornado are on the table for some of those cells that do roam the prairies of central South Dakota. Now, some of that could drift towards Sioux Falls late this evening. It'll probably be weakening as it does so. But then tomorrow, we're going to really tap into an extreme amount of heat and humidity here. So this broad severe weather outlook goes from northern Nebraska clear up toward Minneapolis and St. Cloud. Obviously, there'll be some clusters in here we'll be able to identify as we kind of, wring out the details of the forecast later today and tomorrow. So we encourage you to keep watching the weather, kind of check back in. I know you got a lot of plans. Folks are busy on the weekend, but it's always good to have, some plans in case the weather would turn stormy. And we know how that goes. Let's take you through Futurecast. So the morning activity is basically out of the picture here, but by the mid-afternoon, anywhere west river, we could see some of those new storms. This idea tries to push that towards Sioux Falls here late this evening. That's one idea. A couple other things that we're analyzing would take some of those storms, maybe cut them south into northern Nebraska. And then there should be some separate storms in North Dakota. And it is possible some of those could clip Aberdeen. That's a threat that's there. It's not a guarantee, but it's an idea, too, that warrants watching. Because as all of this is happening, we've got increasing humidity coming in. It's just going to keep surging in slowly but surely. It builds tomorrow. Look at this. We're into the 90s. Our heat index, Sioux Falls, Mitchell, it's going to be over 100 degrees in the afternoon. So if you start looking at radar and you see some blow-ups on radar up through Brookings, Marshall, Mitchell, or into northern Nebraska, that's also fair game. Any of those storms could be strong to severe. It's possible. So again, we'll just see what happens there. The best bet of the cap breaking will be Watertown, Sisseton. That northeast corner. Also, your jet stream winds are running a little stronger there too. That would be a little more concerning for, maybe some widespread severe weather. But the Storm Prediction Center has us under slight risk, and that's where things stand right now. So we'll reevaluate those things later today. All right, 70s today in the Northeast, mid-90s, Rapid City. That's a hot day. Weekend forecast is also definitely warm, hot tomorrow. Tomorrow's just hot. Sioux Falls, 90. That may not even be high enough. We could go 92 here. 80s on Sunday. I think we'll pull back the edge of the heat and humidity, assuming some thunderstorms come through. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week, we're in the 80s. We could see another surge of higher humidity by the middle of next week, and that goes hand in hand with some thunderstorm chances that come back for Aberdeen. And that's not just Aberdeen. That could also extend into central South Dakota as well. So a lot of typical things here. As you think about early July, it's kind of hot, it's humid at times, and we're going to roll some storms through our region. Again, it looks like today's probably the biggest chance in that section of western South Dakota or this evening. And then by Sunday, too, there's another risk of some thunderstorms in western South Dakota. Check out more information. It is online at KELOLAND.com.